It's the NFL on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Dallas Cowboys and the Cincinnati Bengals. All that and more coming up next.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League takes us to the banks of the Ohio River and Paycor Stadium in the Queen City of Cincinnati. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Now, Charles, you and I, we've done a lot of games together. Always seems like we're rehashing the same storylines. Turnovers, of course, always a big story. Quarterback play, running backs, yada, yada, yada. But getting ready for this one word kept coming to mind, and that's preparation.
Well, it's critical to be prepared. Physically, mentally. When you think about getting ready for an NFL game, you have to wonder, what will they throw at us that maybe we haven't seen before? 2-minute drill, maybe different things like that. Got to be prepared. You're exactly right.
Well, the kicker, Brandon Aubrey, is out to get this one started. And we are underway from Cincinnati. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Bengals offense here ready to rock and roll. Joe Burrow is the man at quarterback.
And when you come into the league as the #1 guy selected, a lot of hype comes with it. And sometimes that weight can be unbearable. But this young man, he took that weight on and handled it as well as you can imagine. And I love his ability to make a second, third reaction play and create downfield.
They'll bring a receiver in motion right. He'll get it here on the jet sweep. And that is not fooling anyone. He never had a chance to turn the corner there. And they'll go backwards right away. That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now, because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
That was their first third down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key third down throws.
So on 4th down, Ryan Rico on to punt for the Bengals. Cavante Turpin deep for the Cowboys. Oh, look at the juke. Runs through the contact. A 45-yard punt, 4 there on the return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Time for Dak Prescott and the Dallas offense to go to work. Prescott, of course, the former 4th-round pick in 2016 out of Mississippi State.
It's been a lot of fun watching him advance in his career. Many people question his ability to throw the football coming out of Mississippi State. He's conclusively answered that question. In addition, a very strong runner and an even better leader.
So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at the 34. They'll try and start this drive in the air. A short one there taken in by Ferguson. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. 16 yards right off the bat and a 1st down.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
Prescott now from the 50. He'll get this to his running back, Dowdle. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Now an option play on second down. He has enough for the first down on the keeper, a gain of 6.
And this is one of those plays that if you can use it to keep the chains moving, it's a good play. And not only that, it tends to tamp down the pass rushers because they have to recognize this play and stay at home. The quarterback uses it well. Read option, keeps it, and picks up a first down with some nice running.
They run here with Rico Dowdle. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
Prescott from the gun. Over the middle, hauled in by Lamb. And Lamb going to have a Cowboys first down as he'll get this down to the 23. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Throwing, Prescott. And he'll go right back to Lamb. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. But yet another completion here on this opening drive, and he's now perfect 4 of 4 to start. Pretty solid execution here.
And how about how everyone's handled their nerves? Because you know what it's like to start a ball game. You're so amped up and ready to go, and sometimes the execution isn't there. They've been flawless so far. Well drilled, well prepared, and excited to start this game.
And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. No score after 1 on EA Sports. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Cowboys in possession as they go to work on a 1st and goal. They run here with Dowdle. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. They'll try again. Yeah, this time they'll get down close to the goal line, but not quite in as he stopped at the 1-yard line. They get 3 yards closer, but still work to do. It's 3rd and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
Dowdle is in. Touchdown, Dallas. So that a great sequence for these guys to begin the ball game. They force the punt on one end, then come right down the field and score on the other.
And that's a great example of leaning on each other and building a little momentum that way. How about the defense forcing the punt, turns it over to the offense with confidence, and they take it downfield and score.
Brandon Aubrey now for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it 7-0 Cowboys. A 10-play drive that time, and it's capped off with a Cowboys touchdown. So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their second drive. They'll be looking to match that touchdown from a moment ago. 7-0 is the score as they begin with a first down. Now it's Burrow. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A quick first down pickup. Good start after going 3 and out on their opening drive.
That's the first time he's called his own number, but he's got to be overjoyed with the results. He wasn't just going to settle for a modest gain. To me, he was determined to come through with a big message to a defense that slept on him in the pocket.
On 1st and 10, here's Brown. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Here's Burrow. Now a short one to Gesicki.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. From midfield now, Burrow. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. They only needed 1 yard on third down. They get 10 instead by going to the air. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on third and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Going up top. And this is caught. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Andre Yoshivas. 40 yards. And the Bengals are an extra point away from evening this one up. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go. Uh-oh, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Evan McPherson now for the PAT. It's up and good, and we're tied at 7 here in quarter number 2. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it's finished off with a Cincinnati touchdown. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Second drive forthcoming here for the Dallas Cowboys. Tie ball game, still a little more than a minute to go in the half. The question, can they put something together here, try to take that lead into intermission?
I would have to think that would be the goal for sure. I don't think you sit on anything here. Here's your opportunity. Push it downfield. As you mentioned, it's a tie game. So minus a disaster on your part, you've got that in your back pocket. Go ahead and try and get some points and feel great going into the half.
Out of the gun, here's Prescott. And he's got his man in stride, complete. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be second down.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
Here now, 2nd and 4. To throw is Prescott. It's hauled in by Brandon Cooks. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Prescott now. Flush to his right. And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end. The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Here's Prescott. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And he showed off the athletic juke. Good little gain there. Not a whole lot of real estate, but a nice carry. He felt the pressure coming there. That was a good job of just making something out of nothing, so to speak.
Yeah, took the hit and still made the play. You know, when we talk about runners, all right, and on running plays, runs after contact, we call that getting dirty yards, tough, gritty ones. To me, that's like the version of a dirty pass. He knows he's going to get smacked, yet still delivers the football and picks up good yardage.
The Cowboys signal for their third and final timeout as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Looking to throw, Prescott. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go.
It sort of looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But this defense gets 2 more stops. They can keep them out of that area.
Now with 5 seconds left, not really enough time to run another play and then stop it, so on comes the field goal unit. It'll be a 47-yard attempt from the left hash. And his kick is absolutely perfect. But now there is a penalty marker on the field, so let's see what this is about. So barring a touchback, this likely the final act of the half as the kick is away. And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. And they'll have time for one play. There's 2 seconds on the clock. Final play of the half for Burrow and company. That to the sideline, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And the Cowboys are going to get the football back as time will run out in this third quarter of play. Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. A good, tight football game thus far. 10-7 the score as we resume action on EA Sports. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33. The Cowboy offense set to go to begin this third quarter. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. 23 yards on the tuck and run.
Well, that turned out better than most of the passes he could have thrown on that snap. The coverage downfield was excellent, but the containment close to home left him a backdoor escape, and they paid dearly for not locking up.
A running play, it's Dowdle. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Prescott to throw it. Short pass taken in by Schoonmaker. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And it's 2nd down.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Here's Prescott. He finds his man, complete. It's Ferguson. That'll give him 8 that time. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. And that is incomplete. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his 2nd incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, but a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
And he missed it. It's no good. And that will keep this a 3-point game.
Well, Brandon, anything beyond 50, you start rolling the dice a bit. And once you get up around 57, 58 yards, the chances of making it go down dramatically. And sure enough, this one winds up no good.
So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. Two sides to every coin. This is the bad side of missing the 58-yarder. Now they start at the 48. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. That one taken in by T. Higgins. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
Burrow will throw. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. Getting home that time to Marvian Overshown.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Burrow looking to pass. This one complete to Yoshibas. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Andre Yoshibas 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Bengals have taken the lead here in this third quarter. So a very strong first drive in this second half, Charles, as they've turned that halftime deficit into a third quarter lead.
And they were pretty purposeful there, weren't they? Measured in their approach. But boy, they executed awfully well, moving the ball down the field.
And McPherson on for the extra point. And that makes it 14-10. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it ends with a Bengals score. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The Dallas offense back out onto the field. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Now Prescott. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
That's an excellent play by the defender. He diagnosed that one, closed quickly, and helped force the incompletion.
Third quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10. On the run, it's Dowdle. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28. And now we're going to get a stoppage. A member of the Cowboys shaken up. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. Here now a 3rd down and 8. Prescott. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Logan Wilson, the one who got in there and dropped him to the ground. We've seen him escape similar situations earlier in the game and get away from pretty good yardage, and that time they get him down.
Yeah, they've had enough evidence that he can get away and run for good yardage, haven't they? That time it felt like, okay, enough of this. Let's play it the right way and get him on the ground before he does any damage.
Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Fair catch called for and made right at the 25-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. Now it's Burrow. Now a short one to Gesicki. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Now Burrow. This pass complete to Higgins. And Higgins is going to have a Bengals first down up near the 40-yard line. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Cincinnati. It's the Bengals in possession of the football and in possession of the lead as well as we start the fourth. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. And that one complete once again to Higgins. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. Give him back-to-back catches now. That one for 16 and another first down.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on first and second downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
We couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, one-score game. First and 10 here. Open man is Higgins. And that's good for a gain of 6, and that will bring up second down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose, and boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs, and they come up on second down. Again, it's Burrow. Now a short one to Gesicki. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive...
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Malik Hooker. And the Cowboys are right back in this football game. A seismic shift in momentum here in the fourth quarter. That's the break that the defense needed.
And you know as well as I do, people are going to question the play call in that situation. Sometimes you have to question the execution, not necessarily the call. And in this case, those defenders found a way to give their team a chance.
Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. The interception sets them up with an opportunity to erase this fourth quarter deficit. Now, this series could very well determine our outcome. So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at about the 32. They'll try and start this drive in the air. He finds his man complete. It's Ferguson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
Going right back to Ferguson.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. Now second down and a few inches. Throwing, Prescott. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Very sharp here to start this drive, 3 for 3.
Yeah, I like the way he's running this 2-minute drill. Very sharp, very precise in throwing the football.
Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now. Now Prescott. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
They'll come up now on second down. Now Dak. Throw out wide is incomplete. Back-to-back big plays defensively. First the sack. Now they force the incompletion on 3rd and long. Things looking pretty good for them.
And this is where they have to be careful because they've got the momentum going their way. They will be really amped up to get to the quarterback. Look out. Draw, screen, something that can be used against them.
Here's Prescott. He's going to let it fly. And oh no, it's incomplete. Well, it's a touchdown if he holds on, but somehow took his eyes off of it, falls to the ground, and brings up 4th down.
With that incompletion, reality is staring them right in the face. This entire game is down to the next snap.
Desperation time. Prescott on 4th. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Bengals are going to get it back in terrific field position. The Bengals offense and Joe Burrow getting set for this next drive. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. We've got to have two hands on the football here as they run on 1st down. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down. Here's the first carry for Khalil Herbert. And he will have a Bengals 1st down. And it's celebration time on that sideline. And they've earned it. The Bengals go down to a knee in the victory formation. The Cowboys signal for their 3rd and final timeout as it'll come with 36 seconds to go in half number 2. Burrow down to a knee, and that should be the final act of this one.
I don't know about you, partner, but watching them take the knee there and finish this one off, I feel like I'm going to be sore tomorrow. This was one bruising affair. Low scoring, but my kind of football.
Not a work of art, but maybe in your world, a little bit of a work of art. You like the defensive side.
I thought it was pretty. I can't help myself. I thought it was pretty.
And it ends in a kneel down as the clock rolls down to zeros. Well, that second half, Charles, a little bit different from the first. Not only did we have the lead change after intermission, but they were able to pitch the shutout in the second half and get an impressive victory.
And what's the old expression? That's not quite how I saw it playing out in my head. You know they didn't expect this at all. As you mentioned, went into the half with the lead. Losing the game is one thing. Getting shut out in the second half, that's a surprise.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. It's a win for the Bengals as we say so long from Cincinnati.